a coconut on my stoop. What on earth shall I do? I thought they were from the hood, but it seems I misunderstood. It's like they're white on the inside, but are really brown on the outside. There's a coconut on my stoop, and I don't know if that is good.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. It's me, Queen Alita. Of course, I'm here with Mbali and Yule. So
we were sisters. Usually says that. She didn't say it this time.
My sisters. Yes. They know by now.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about something specific today. But before we start, we were just literally talking about faking accents and how people switch up on you because you have a certain accent. So I had a situation where I just started my new job in Santene. It was my first day or the first week, and I remember thinking I need to get to the mall, but I don't know how to get to the mall. Like I know the general direction, and you have like those security guards that hang around. So I was like, it was World Cup time. It was 2010, guys, when South Africa was, so I'm like, how can I? Okay, first of all, I want to avoid
2010 internationals that are coming in.
Besides that, I want to avoid the security guards either giving me attitude or hitting on me.
Guys,
so I'm like,
that's
okay,
real. No, that's real. I'm with you. I feel you.
Exactly. So I'm like, let me hit him with my best British accent.
What does that sound like?
So I get up to him. I'm like, hi, I was just wondering. I'm looking for the entrance to like the mall. Like I'm looking for Sandton City. Oh, yes, ma'am. Let me take you in. I was like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. Guys, I was in that mall within seconds. I'm like, if I had gone there without someone Puti, who knows what could have happened? It would have been. It could have turned out well, but the look on his face, I was like, let me give my best British accent.
Yeah, let's do the accent.
No, you're right, because it's like black on black crime, bro.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I went with my boss, with Marcus, we went to Camps Bay. Right?
Yeah.
There was this editor that stayed in one of these Lani apartments.
Yeah.
And as we went in, you have to sign in. So Marcus is signing in, and then the security guard who's signing everyone in, he's like, no, you don't write on that paper. And then I'm like, Marcus is like, where must you write? I'm also like, where must you write? He's like, the service entrance writes over there. I'm like, service entrance?
Who's service entrance?
I'm like, who is service entrance? I'm like, whoa, Cape Town. Wow, Cape Town. I looked at him like, what's my dress code? I'm like, my dress code is good today.
That is rough.
And I'm speaking with an English. I'm like, service. I'm not coming to clean the editor's house. I'm directing. I'm going to tell the editor how to edit that stuff.
Yeah, there's microaggressions in SA, but not that deep.
Dude,
I think it's a Cape Town thing, and I think he just thought, oh, you're the cleaner.
Because
coming to
quite
clean.
possibly in Camps Bay, there can't be a black lady coming to see someone upstairs, coming to see one of the white men upstairs.
Yeah.
There can't possibly be that. So this accent helps, ne?
If I'm like an elite mistress,
it totally does. I mean,
an elite mistress. No!
You don't know. I could be anything before a cleaning lady.
But no service. He didn't say what type of service, so it could have also fitted in the elite mistress service.
Yeah, it could have. Maybe they also go through the service entrance, but you never know.
And then my boss just cracked himself.
Brent, you laugh.
Oh no, my boss just cracked himself. I went. Then I thought about it, and I was like, do I go back there and be like, no, my guy?
Yeah, in that moment, it's hard to react. Because first of all, you're still processing what's actually happening here. Service entrance, and you're like, okay. But then later, you're like, I should have said this, and I should have. Let me go back, guns blazing. And it's like, no,
it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also remember that story.
So annoying.
Yeah.
That how you just, these moments traumatize you so much that you freeze.
Yeah.
I know.
And then you're like, I need to
do better next time.
I've got a monologue, bro. I've got a whole monologue that I can say
here.
But you just
you start talking to yourself in the mirror.
But you remember
having
that
the
guy
conversation
that you
with the person.
You worked with a guy, a black guy that loved white people.
Which guy?
An old
Where
guy.
was this?
Each time he saw.
Shame.
Okay,
Uncle
shame.
so and so. I didn't want to say his name. Shame. Guys, yes, that was so sad. But that was like, I think it was his trauma from apartheid times because he was from that era. And I'll never forget the first time that I saw him interact with a white man. I couldn't believe it. He was on the floor.
What do you
that's
mean
how
he was
much
on
he
the
was
floor?
bowing down.
Like, what do you mean?
No,
like, why was he bowing down? Like, what was the conversation? Like, what did he say? What did he say?
No, I'm absolutely not going to demonstrate it.
Just a little bit.
Not demonstrating it. He was literally bowing down to this man on some, how pass you? I was like, what happened to... I almost said his name. I'm like, he's on the floor. Why? You guys, my heart. I was so heartbroken. Yeah, and that's just how he standard. Yeah. It's like the moment he saw a white man click, that's what his brain would do. His body would follow. It was just standard. You couldn't stop him. And he was just the sweetest old man. Shame.
Yeah, it's the generation as well. Remember Mama's her friend, I'm going to say that, how she said that black folk are second-class citizens.
Which friend was this? Okay, I'm just trying to picture.
My mom even said when they were in how.
Yes.
Did she say that?
Yeah. She said
in this day and age.
Yeah.
In this day 2024.
2024. Yep. Recent years. Yeah.
No, but guys, you know how they were raised. My mom was telling me how they were raised. They were raised to be like, guys, a white man doesn't steal. A white man doesn't do anything wrong. They're perfect. So if something went wrong, you'd be like, no, it's not the white man.
They invented everything. Yeah.
They are clever. They are superior than us.
That's what Kulu used to say. Our own granddad. All the time. He'd be like, hey, Mlumu, hey, you can't touch. He'd be like, wow.
And then also, how's the maids of today, guys?
Yeah.
How your helpers? They've got this thing now. Sorry, I hit your mic.
Why are you attacking my mic?
I'm sorry, I'm so expressive. They've got this new thing of saying when they're talking about you, they're like, "Hey, umlungwami."
No, ma'am.
Really?
They do say that.
Yeah, they call us umlungwami. Like they're cleaners, bruh. When they're messaging their people, they say umlungwami.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, why?
Yeah. It's because Mlungu is a boss.
It's a boss. Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
It's the same.
Anyways, guys, let me add the spice for this episode. No, it's not spice.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking today what we can speak about is The Office. Ne?
The Office, the show.
No, not the show. Not the comedy.
No, but none of us have watched it. How many people have actually watched it? We've watched all the clips over the years. We know everything that happens in The Office because of the clips. But anyway, go on.
No, just I want to speak about 2024. Ne?
Yeah.
And what the work environment looks like in terms of, I'm being specific here, so I'm steering it a certain direction, in terms of the toxic levels.
So my
of
work environment in 2024 is...
No, like I'm talking about the work environments of 2024.
Like corporate.
Higher. Yeah.
Maybe not 100% only corporate, just being in a working environment.
Yes. And also, adult. It can, when you give your answers, it can stem from a gradual thing that started a couple of years back.
Yeah.
So it can be specific stories leading up to where we are now where I believe we are in 2024.
Yeah.
In terms of work. Cool.
Yeah, no, start us off.
Yeah.
I feel like...
What's the question?
I just asked you a question.
Okay,
what's the question again? Sorry.
Miss South Africa, Miss Universe, please rephrase the question.
Yes. World peace.
I don't think I understand world peace.
That's the standard answer.
World peace.
We want world peace in these work environments, guys.
How's the work environment of 2024? World peace.
Yes.
No, they have to... They answered full sentence. So the working environment in 2024 is world peace.
Guys, on a side note, did you guys see the little clip on Instagram where the ladies, I don't know if it was Miss World or Miss Universe, and they were coming on to say what country they're from, but they would just say their country.
Yes.
Oh
my word.
Oh my goodness. France is hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it, but France was
No,
wrong.
please send it to me. That's hilarious.
Anyway.
I have to shout the names, but anyway.
Okay, but going back to the serious stuff.
I'm talking about the work environment.
Yeah.
Ne? Have you guys experienced toxic work environments leading up to where we are now? And what is your commentary of work environments today?
Yeah.
About work environments today?
Yeah, I can start. I think I haven't been in a work environment with lots of people in some years. But when I was, the last place that I worked it was a really awesome environment to begin with because it felt like family. Right.
Well, that's
and
nice.
I know these days that people are like, I noticed in the comment sections of a lot of videos that have that are about work environments, they're like, oh, if they say we're like family here in your interview, it's a red flag. I'm like, no,
it is a red flag though. It's a red flag though. But carry on. It's a red flag.
I don't know about you, but in the one
Because
place
that's
where it was a family environment, guys, it was the best work experience I ever had. That was the job where my first day, and I said to the security guard, excuse me, I'm looking for Santon City. Anyway, so I stayed there for 7 years. The last year or 2 years, I think, was where things just went down the drain for me, because they started to hire senior managers from big organizations. I worked for a smaller bank, one of these little niche banks.
Yes.
They started to hire people from the big banks, the big four. And these people came with their culture, with this cutthroat stuff that you see on Suits, and you're like, wait a minute, this is TV stuff. This is not real life. This is not a movie. Please, you're dealing with human beings here. Don't come here with your movie tendencies trying to just stifle people and what's the word I'm looking for? It came and it escaped my mind. But basically just break people's spirits, because I'm a senior manager, and what are you going to do about it?
So in what way would they break people's spirits?
Give us a story.
I'm just trying to think of specifics. So look, I guess for me it was time for me to move on. That's probably why God allowed it. Like, my life just went from a great working environment to it was hostile. Okay. Senior managers that I'd worked with who had always been great were now adopting this new style of these other new senior managers, right? So I was finding myself being managed out. Like, I remember I was fighting this thing, like, how can they be accusing me of this? They would ask you for a certain piece of work.
Oh yeah, say no. When they want you out, then they'll find every little thing and pile up every little thing and make it a thing.
Everyone else around you is doing the same thing and worse, but when you do it, and I was like, okay, is this how we gonna play it? I'm like, so and so did the same thing. Now so and so is getting a letter because I said so. They're also getting a disciplinary letter. They're like, either way, you're gonna get your letter. Fine, we'll give so and so a letter, but that's just to keep you quiet, because nothing ever happened to so and so. But then one day I walked out of one of those meetings where you was just like, everyone's coming at you, and I just walked out there and I just felt God saying, it's the end of the road here. And I had such a peace. After that, I was untouchable. I was floating, because no matter what meetings they called me into after that, I answered their questions, delivered their work, handed in my resignation, floated out of that place. But it was so difficult to get to that point, because you're just fighting for your life. You're thinking, this is my well-being. How am I going to pay for my bills? How am I going to take care of my children? You're literally messing with my life. It's so... It hurts.
And in that transition from the way where it felt like a family for you to how it was now, did it feel as though there was less patience?
Oh, definitely.
So, I mean, when there's a family,
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that no one is perfect.
Exactly.
So everyone knows there is no person that's perfect in a job. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But did they adopt a way of like, you're making a mistake warning? Or
when
like,
it was
let's
family
work,
feel, you never got a letter. You never got told, if you did something wrong or you didn't finish the piece of work, you would explain yourself, and that was it. Like, okay, I'm sorry I didn't do it, or you do it. I mean, most of the time I did the work. There was hardly ever those situations, right?
Yes.
So when this new environment started to come in, we were getting more work. Remember, people were leaving their jobs and they wouldn't replace. You would just absorb the duties.
Yeah.
So you had more work.
It's still doing
And
that.
you're just swamped. Like, it got so bad. The workload got so much. And when you have a huge workload like that and you slip up on one or two things, and then you get called in and get given a letter, now that's when I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to take my hour lunch, because you don't appreciate the fact that I give you my lunchtime. You don't appreciate the fact that I come in at 7 and that I leave at 6.
Now they start.
Or 7
now they're
as
not
well.
even looking. They're not
I
looking
stopped
to
all that.
reward.
Exactly.
They're looking to what's the word? I need to call it. It's not about rewarding anymore. It's about
Incentivizing?
No, it's
they
constant. When
catch
someone
you out.
constantly, like, you know how the communication between relationships is these days, whether it's friends relationship or husband and wife, it's always like what you did wrong, never like all the right things that you've done. You get what I'm saying? So now it was the lens of like, we want to catch you out, we want to show you what's wrong to better our business instead of what's right to better our business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I missed that. I zoned out because I needed a tissue.
No.
But I think I got the gist of what you're saying, because now it's like every little thing becomes an issue, and everything else that I've done I've put all these reports together for you. I've done all your interviews. That was my work. I was like in HR, but a business partner. My main focus was recruitment. As I put that whole website together, the whole recruitment website, you do so much, and then one small thing, and they call you in for that. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not giving you extra time because you're not appreciating the effort that I put in. So then you see people saying, oh, she takes a full lunch hour. Yes, I do. And I'm not afraid of it.
Hey, and then they make you feel bad for taking that full lunch hour.
I never felt bad for a second because I'm like, you do not appreciate. And you just get nailed even more for having that kind of attitude. But it was my time to leave. So yeah, I felt like I had a point that I wanted to bring up with that, because I'm just thinking how even the managers that I had, right, one of them was someone who had been there when she hired me. Great manager until this whole new corporate thing came around, and she became the main person who was out to like manage me out.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to think about.
It feels like a family member stabbing you in the back. It's like, wow, really, you? I can
but
understand
no,
all these other ones, but
you know what I learned? What I've seen, I've seen
them?
that there's very few people that buy in. That's why I say to you, when you say family, it's a red flag, because there's very few people that will honestly buy into family. No, listen to me. They'll honestly buy into the concept of family. Then you are the one who's left being the idiot at the end of it, because everybody else is looking out for themselves and their real family.
Yeah, and their
so
own
if
family.
when it comes to I've got to
at the end
keep
of
my
the day,
job for
you're
my
so
own
right.
family or throw more under the bus,
I'm
it's a
throwing you
no-brainer.
under the bus.
It's a no-brainer. They're
Yeah.
going to throw you under the. And I realize that when people look you in your face, and not have your best interest at heart, and you're the only dweeb having everybody's best interest at heart,
out
because
here thinking that
Dulululand,
Dululand, out here thinking we are family, we are family.
You know what I mean?
But no, they're not.
I had to also get out of Dululand. I was finding myself spending hours busy helping people here with Eisteddfords and different things, and what the salary wasn't increased. If anything, everyone was clamping down on me. And I was like, I haven't been spending time with my real family.
Exactly.
And no one is rewarding me for that.
Yeah.
And then that's why I realized that people are actually, it's not like back in the days where you understand, okay, we're all from the village, we're helping each other.
Yeah.
There's no more helping each other. It's each man, as long as myself and my household, my kids have everything they need, I can provide for them, full stop. I got to do what I got to do in this business, instead of let me look out for my colleague or my colleagues or everybody else that's in the business. It's a whole mental shift. Everything has shifted.
It really has. And I also think that there's a demonic element to it. I have to add this because
there's the
spiritual
water
side
spirits.
to it.
What did you say
No,
last time?
the marine
The marine
spirit. Yeah, with the mosquitoes that come to fetch your blood and take you to the marine kingdom. No, but I think why I'm adding this is because, you know, I've recently listened to various testimonies and people talking about how some of these people are actually into Satanist things, like the top people in these organizations, right?
Yeah.
And people describing the experiences that they've had that used to work for the kingdom of darkness, how Satan rules his kingdom. And I'm like, I remember listening thinking, that's the corporate environment. That's literally how they run it the same way Satan runs his kingdom. I'm like, this is demonic. It's cruel and it's evil how people get treated. And we're not saying that everyone treats people that way that are in top positions. My CEO at that bank was the best. I could go directly to him and he would help me out, where my manager would have said no. And I was like, fine,
Sorry,
I'm going to go over you. I'm going to go to the CEO direct.
Can I jump in there? And Buddy, before I get to you, because you've just touched on something, and even though I laugh about the demonic, I honestly feel like that there are witches who are running companies.
Warlocks, witches, sorcerers,
like proper witches, guys, who dabble with spirits in the spiritual realm. And I also remember when I was working as a talent agency, talent agent.
She was a whole agency.
I was a whole agency, guys. Like I you can't fire me. I am the agency.
And they want Hollywood in the office. Who gives them Hollywood in the office?
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, when I was working at a talent agency, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many red flags. Like, I remember the first day on the job, right? I went to go get a cup of tea. right? Like this sounds small. It really does small, but sound small. But I went to get a cup of tea. I walked in, and I was like, guys, where's the tea? Where's the coffee?
Oh,
No, there's no tea and coffee. I'm like, but I saw people drinking tea and coffee. Like, no, that's the managers and whoever. So I'm like, oh, so there's do we bring our
guys,
own or
what
what?
kind of work environment does it basic?
I'm like tea and coffee, guys. I'm like tea. Then I thought to myself, hey, is this a small business, a SME? But then
Still,
dude. But then I thought to myself, but no, they always talking about how much them 6 digits they have. So why isn't there tea and coffee? And then I said, guys, can we organize and let someone get milk, and let's sort ourselves out. No, we then I went to HR. HR was like, no, we can't. The bosses will be upset.
you couldn't even like.
I'm
for
like,
people to drink tea and coffee.
Wait, I'm not even this. Listen to me. Yeah. And then the next thing is like, oh, you guys, we all know that the cleaner comes once a week, sorry. So we need to make sure the toilets are clean for the artists.
That when you told me that the first time, I was like,
Yeah, no, that's...
I'm leaving, Mary. I'm leaving.
I'm like,
I'm not sticking around for that.
I'm like, I want you to.
I'm sure they're violating
No, nothing.
so many codes
Exactly.
and things with that they're not supposed to. But
I'm like, I'm coming again. I want you to look at me and say that to me again. Like I don't
Clean
think
the toilet.
Say it to me with confidence. No, say it to me with confidence, please.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, and then like it's like, no, you have to. And then things started heating up. So it's all about so one day, the day you come in, oh, here's this, she's the best person, you're going to be overseeing these people. Never mind, you haven't told those
guys,
people that I'm overseeing them yet. You haven't told, they've got no clue.
So now they're shocked because how?
When I'm like, they're like, what's up with you? When I'm saying no, don't do it, like they're like, what girl, where are you? Who are you? What authority are you? What authority coming? I'm like, but they told me I'm overseeing you. So it's like okay. This is Yule. She's the best. She's that they fill you up with positive things. You know, you're part of this family, and then you see everybody else is looking sour. I'm like, but why are they looking sour? You know,
little did you know.
Hey Nina, hey, they were looking sour because when I had disagreed with the boss and everybody, I sent an email. I'm like, guys, why are you treating our clients this way? You're actually cheating clients by not paying them on time.
Yeah.
Or by withholding their money when you know it's already come into your bank account.
Yes. Like why?
I don't have my contract. I don't know if your guys are paying UIF. I don't know. And I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're paying UIF. I don't know if you're paying taxes. Nothing comes. I haven't seen an IRP5.
Yo.
I haven't seen nothing. What is going on?
What was?
After I asked what is going on, oh, sister wasn't the favorite anymore.
Oh, because you're asking questions. Because
and I was a senior person. Ne?
Yeah.
Now look at this guy. This guy is now the hottest
it's
thing
the next
around.
hot
So
thing.
it's the hottest thing around. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not gonna mentally play your game. I know who I am because I know God, and I'm a daughter of the Most High God. You cannot break me,
Exactly.
and you will not break me.
That's
so,
demonic.
and I saw how everybody else was. The girl that sat next to me used to cry every day. The boss would loom over her computer and say, open the email. I don't even know where the email is. She couldn't even open Outlook.
Shame,
she
man.
was gone.
You can't work like that.
you
She
can't work
was
like
gone.
that.
We would
the
get
email's right in front of you, but you literally can't see it because
see.
this
and then it's
monster
like,
is.
you guys are not allowed to talk in the office unless you're talking
Right.
about a direct
Was this
client.
the place where you didn't even have aircon? Because I remember
Yeah, there was no
visiting you in
aircon.
that office.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 minutes. I was like, how do you guys sit here all day?
Like, the direct client, unless you're talking about a client, don't talk to each other. So I can't even ask how are you? How is so and so? The well-being of people, we're not allowed to do that.
Hi guys.
You get what I'm saying?
That's why I'm like,
And
it's
then,
demonic.
but I
It's
saw now how
witchcraft.
how this woman wanted to give people incentives, business incentives. It wasn't about we are all a team, let's work as a team. No, she wanted you individually there.
Of course,
you individually there.
isolating.
So everything they used to say to us
unity.
was always different. So, and they didn't know within us. I was like, we coming in with unity.
Yeah.
What did they say to you? They said 1, 2, 3. What did they say to you? They said to me that I must get your client's details because I think they're about to kick you out, sister. So I'm supposed to get your client's details. I'm like, oh, okay, is that what they said? Yes, that's what they said. What did they say to you? Oh, they said that you did this and that. I'm like, but I didn't do that. I'm just telling you. So
There's a cat.
they thought you can't have coffee. So they thought they were all playing us, so we could reach our targets. but they don't understand anything about reaching targets.
Yeah.
And
motivating people
and motivating
to want
people.
to
They
reach
wanted to
those
motivate,
targets.
but they wanted to motivate on the premises. What the premises?
Premise.
The
Premise.
Yeah.
Premises. What's the word,
premise? Brandon, our clever person. Presses. What?
On the premise. Premises.
Yeah, but there was another one that I want to use, but you almost I want to use that
Precipice
one.
is not the one.
No, but there's another. You get what I'm saying?
I think so.
Okay, cool. I'll look for it.
On the basic premise, I just keep seeing some white lady saying this.
They wanted to motivate us on the fact that we want our jobs, and none of us wants to lose our jobs. And guys, and you saw who was willing to sell the other person out.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Because, and I thought to myself, listen, I have always known from
the backstabbing.
dude. For get-go, I've always known who's the master of jobs, and the
Yeah.
master of this world is God.
Of course.
So I think that's why bosses probably have a problem with me. I know there's nothing, you cannot break me. Listen to me. Like you can't make me scrub the floors. I will not scrub the floors. You will fire me first, and God will pick me up.
Yeah, no.
And he'll get me and my family back together again. I will walk out. I am not that person who's going to be. And when you saw people that lingered, they sacrificed their integrity. They compromised because of the things that they were asking us to do. Some things were just
and they just didn't know
some things were
the
just
power of God.
downright lying. Lie to
Yeah.
people, lie to the
Yeah.
clients, lie to everyone. And I'm like, no, who will I be when I've done
if
this
I've
for
become
so
this
long?
person,
Who will I be? I'm like,
You wouldn't even
you.
recognize yourself.
I'm like, whether you, I don't know if you want to, like the witch of the talent industry, whatever you are, you will not change me.
Yeah.
Like, and you need to stop doing that to people. But they prey on what people need. And at the time, I needed a job.
Yes.
And I had a baby coming up. But there's a point where you must draw a line.
Exactly.
And say, this toxic environment is not good for me mentally, because we only have one mind. And that's what COVID made me realize. We have one mind. And I went through PSD. What do you call it? PSD.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD when I had COVID. And I'm like, I'm not going back there. I will not go back there for anybody. There's no person
It's
that
not
will
a
make
good
me go
place
back.
to be.
Like I'm like that's why the Bible says God, you must guard your heart and your mind, right? It's important.
All diligence.
With all diligence, because guys, you will become a person that then you look and like, that's not me.
Exactly.
And then you're not able to
where
fix
did I
yourself
lose
again.
myself
Oh,
along
sorry.
this journey of just trying to survive, trying to make sure that I can take care of my family and whatever. But yeah, just going back to the backstabbing point, I remember this one time in my little job there at my niche bank, I used to have this, I was friendly with everybody. Like I said in the first episode, I was in Delulu land because I was in HR and I thought everybody loved me, so we were all happy together.
Yes.
Meanwhile, people just were like, you're HR, I need to be nice to you.
Yes.
So I remember this one lady who, hey guys, that lady, I thought we were friends, I thought we were so tight. We get into this large meeting,
Delulu,
right?
bruh,
We
Delulu.
had all these departments. There was a rolling out of a new system. HR needed to be involved because it also affected us. So I was there as the HR person. IT was there. All the different departments that you would need for the rolling out of a new thingy. And I guess it was one of those meetings where they're trying to figure out whatever, there was some problem. Hey, did this lady not throw me under the bus? Guys, in such a way that you're like, is this you?
What did she say?
I don't remember what the point was, but she was like, yes, HR. And she looked at me, guys, in a look I've never seen before. She looked at me with this like, HR. I was like, I thought we were friends, Katrina. That's not her real name. I was like, I thought
Hey, okay, Trina,
you and
this is
I are
wrong.
here. No, I'll never forget that moment because I didn't understand what was happening. My brain was like,
Could not fathom.
Yes,
she just-
and then, no, sorry, Mbali has just broken. Okay, cool, because I was like, it's
never
so
been in
toxic
a
because
corporate
when
environment.
when you start fighting points, right? When you start fighting points, like my friend was saying, she got all her ducks in a row. She
Yeah.
sent emails, like everything was too legit, ne? Then they start saying you're rude.
yeah.
Or they start saying you need to be humble.
Yes.
No, but then why did you say HR? Because clearly it was, here's all my facts to prove that it was the CEO.
Exactly.
Cheers to that.
But
Yeah.
I brought that up because I just remember that was the first time that I was backstabbed in a work environment, and I couldn't believe what was happening. I was so shocked to find ourselves in this situation because, you know, that's just how I roll, you know.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm sure I said something clever, but it wasn't a big deal to me because I had my ducks in a row.
But
right?
you were
As
just
the
shocked.
HR
I mean,
person.
it's shocking.
I was just so shocked. Like, what are you doing?
So I would have gone to, what's going on?
And then after that, the relationship was just sour from there because she could never look me in the eyes after that.
Of course.
But what was she
What
doing?
were you thinking? Why would you do such a thing?
Like, if you're unhappy with something, why don't you just come and ask me?
Exactly. But maybe she was the one who did something wrong and she was just trying to look for the weakest link. And she thought I was the weakest link because I'm the black girl there, I'm the tiniest stature-wise. Oh, what's this little HR girl going to say? I got HR out of that pit very quickly, whatever pit she was trying to dig for us. But yeah.
Yo, right.
Yeah.
Shame, man. Actually makes me think of a conversation that we were actually having earlier as well on grooming. And how it sounds like a grooming. I mean, as Alita said, I've never been corporate. I ran
you.
for my life to my father's dismay.
Your father blames me for you not getting a corporate job. Please get a corporate job.
Why?
He's like, why? He influenced her.
No, I don't think so at all. I think I just knew that I wouldn't flourish in that environment, and I think it was, in hindsight, I don't think I would have just not flourished. I think I actually would have been completely destroyed.
Yeah.
I think you would have risen to the occasion. You got a bite in you.
I do think I have a bite, but I think I also might have committed. So
Not
so it's just,
I don't know why that was so funny because it's not funny.
Yeah,
no, it's not
But-
funny. But yeah, I think that yeah, I told myself very, very early on, I remember thinking, I will not work in a 9-to-5 office.
Yeah. What made
situation.
you?
Wait, she's still talking about grooming, bro.
Okay.
You like going to the next.
I just wanted. I just always
Answer
wondered
question.
why she was
Okay,
put
cool.
off. Yeah, but do the grooming
Why?
thing.
I think. Okay, just
answer a
quickly
question,
answer,
yeah.
yes.
Staying we there.
It was. I don't know. It always felt like a very cagey, very jail type thing to me. It sounded more like torture than a
fun
what
place
I
to
want
be.
to. Yeah, not a fun place to be. What I wanted to do. It
sounded like torture. It was the stories you heard or what?
Yeah, because Mama also had a lot of stories. Remember, she
Yeah,
would
Mama
be
did have a
very
lot of stories,
expressive
and
of
I
her
think-
situations.
I don't know, when I'd always imagined my life, it was never in a cubicle. I was always out and about doing whatever I thought I would have been doing at that age, you know, and so on, you know.
Yeah.
It was always out and about, and that's the life that I've always tried to lead for myself or follow.
Yeah.
So yeah, freelancer's life, which is also
So
Just wait
easy.
for
a journey
freelancer.
on its own.
So
but
easy.
yes,
No,
but
no,
yes.
you're on a freelancer's life,
But
so
now
I'm going
let's
on
go
to
back to the
freelancer's life.
grooming. Wait.
Because the freelancer's life and toxic
wait,
work environments.
grooming,
The freelancer's life
grooming,
is
grooming.
the ultimate toxic work environment you will ever find. Never mind corporate. And I say this with absolute passion.
Yeah.
On behalf of every freelancer out there.
Hashtag
Yeah.
currently going through it.
No, I'm not currently going through it.
You are a freelancer currently.
Yeah. So suppose.
No, Gubi, it's tough to be a freelancer out here. But yes, but yeah,
The
no,
disrespect of
but
people
grooming
that are your bosses for that certain period of time.
enough time.
Yeah, sorry, grooming.
But yeah, so just listening to the way like you guys were treated in your respective work environments and other people in their respective work environments, how it sounds like a grooming process, right? Created, like these systems are put in place almost to break you deliberately. It sounds like.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
It's not just you're here for the betterment of this corporate or whatever project we're doing together as a team anymore. It's like there's people that there's nuances between people. This one is deliberately throwing you under the bus, and this one is doing this and is being funny, and you now you have to stand with this one. You know, there's all these dynamics for me, which is like a direct attack on you as a person, as a human being.
And the word for it, Mbali, is lawyer. Like lawyer. Like the
It
Bible
is witchcraft.
says, it's witchcraft. It's manipulation.
Yeah.
It is.
So and it's calculated. Some bosses, that's why I said some bosses are witches, or owners, or CEOs, or directors, whatever they want to call themselves. You know what I mean, or chair people. They are witches because it's deliberate. It's calculated to break you, so you are able to bend to their will.
Exactly.
You are able to bend to exactly. They only. I want one thing from you. The rest of you I don't need.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you my family. I'll laugh with you about the other things that are you to gain your trust. And then the thing that you need, I'll be the one that can offer it to you.
Yes.
Like that's what groomers do.
Yes.
I'll be the one that has the thing that you need. And because you need it so much, then like you made an interesting point about the boundaries. Then they test the boundaries, ne?
Yes.
They test how far are you willing to go. Let me just do one thing and see how she
Yes.
responds. Okay, I see how she responds. I can play her like this. I see how she. And the next thing you. I mean, half some of the guys that I worked with have
You're
done
up
like
at 2 o'clock in the
hectic
morning
things.
every single day.
You know, and
You don't have a life outside
crying,
of work.
crying, driving
You're
to
in
work.
tears.
You're in tears driving to work. You're in tears leaving work because.
But it's better to be in tears, brother, than to be groomed.
But that's what I'm
to be
saying.
groomed
You
to be
are still
something else.
going
Yes.
through that grooming
Yeah,
process. you know
true.
something's
still
not
going
right,
through- Yes.
but you have to go there. There's
Because you
there's
need
no
to
other
live.
way.
Yeah.
You're literally in abuse. Like when you see like the people around me that are in corporate as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It's like how you're literally, if this wasn't work, no one would like there to be a serious issue.
Yeah.
Like
And
you would
like
it
human
would be
beings
a-
cannot be
it would
subjected
be a
to this.
human rights issue.
You are grooming me
Exactly.
to abuse me.
Yeah.
Ne?
You're
So
not
when I
eating
came in, you
properly.
told me I was part of your family. When I came in, you told me these are things that you flattered me, and then you saw Uti, okay, this one is pregnant, she does this. Next thing, you have to clean toilets. I'm like,
that
this,
one.
if you want me to touch those toilets, you need to work a little more harder.
Yeah.
Not groomed
But
yet.
just even
Yeah.
You know
just
what I
the
mean?
psychological stuff that they do as well.
It's psychological.
in these big corporates as well.
It's the messages. Then they'll ignore you in the one message and put everybody else in, but they know what your contribution was.
'Cause they're trying to
This
isolate
weekend,
you.
thank you so and so
fear.
for this and that,
There's
and then
so-
nothing with you.
Yeah.
So you're at home thinking, why did they leave me out?
Exactly.
Then there's so much fear now. Yeah, doing work past ungodly hours. You can't sleep properly.
Yeah.
You're now developing some sort of issue. I feel like all
Health-wise.
these health-wise, but also these corporate people are all addicted to something, guys.
What?
Well, I mean,
Like,
the best
with
addiction
the-
that comes out of corporate is coffee.
It's
That's
not
that's
coffee.
where I learned how to drink coffee. Was in corporate.
It's alcohol. If it's not alcohol, it's sex. If it's not sex, it's something else.
Because they need
form
coping
these
mechanisms.
horrific
Or
habits
social media.
in their social media.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
other horrific habits within their life now, which also comes hard on their health.
Yes.
As well, the relationships
even
with
their health,
people are
bruh.
falling apart
Even their health,
because
none
they're
of
not
them-
themselves anymore.
Exactly.
Even their health,
Just-
none of them is going to the doctor. They're not going to the doctor. They're going to work.
Yeah, because
They will
Annoying,
not
huh?
sacrifice a day to they're going to work. Who is brave enough in this working day with these toxic environments to ask for sick leave? Because at the end of the day, they're going to make a report or so and so ask for sick leave, and then they ask for leave that time, and they ask leave that is due to you is contracted through the contract. It is yours.
It's your
true.
right.
It's your right.
The days are there.
But now in the offices around the corners, it will be like, oh, so and so is lacking with work
Yes.
because they took so and
But
so is
on
lacking
that
with work.
point,
It's like
I've
culture
seen
as
I've
well.
seen managers come in dying at their desks, and I'm like, I'm not going to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
If I'm the way that you're looking
But
right now,
how
I'm
you-
staying home.
but
Yeah.
how
Man,
you'll
you
be
chose
seen.
this. You chose to be there. That's why you're a manager. Good for you. I don't want to be a manager.
But
I'm
how
just
you'll be
gonna stay
seen
home
for that
and be
choice, no?
sick, okay?
You'll be seen that you're not a team player.
Yeah.
And then they'll start to push you out.
That's probably
because
why I was
that's the
pushed
language
out.
of
You
today.
It's probably why I was
Yes.
pushed out because I was not playing.
Yeah.
I
You
was
think you can take your hour lunch break?
but
Oh, wait,
I
wait.
also used to do
We have
the.
30 minutes now.
Our lunch break was.
I know
they
it's
told-
only 30 minutes
They
now.
told us our lunch break was in. We need to take it in a storeroom.
I remember you
A
said.
storeroom.
Our
Honestly, guys, but that's just
producer
abuse.
/ executive, I still don't know what it is. Has
Yes.
something to speak.
Speak.
Otherwise, we're going to carry on. But please
Sorry.
remind me. I want to
Yeah,
say
just
something
talk
about
loud.
reports that I used to do. I used to do attrition reports, retention reports. I used to do all those reports, and what I used to find, the exit interviews and everything.
I must also come back to creatives. Yeah.
I understand. Like, from my perspective, you have to have a job. I mean, this day and age, 2024. If you've got
Because of
whatever
the way
you've
the
got,
system is built.
you hold on to it with all your might. You try and please whoever you need to. But I do agree that there are limitations and there are boundaries that you need to have, that one needs to have, and especially when we're talking about it from a Christian perspective, there's those godly boundaries. Thanks, Yule, for mentioning those, some of those.
But it's difficult
but
to
like,
get those boundaries. So who has the courage to live up to those boundaries in the way that it's working? You need to be a David and Goliath. You need to be David to have the courage, because that's a Goliath.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, that is
for sure.
Goliath.
It's not a small hill. It's a Goliath to ask for sick leave, guys. It's literally
even leaving work at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Sorry, say
But
yes.
I mean, that's the point. I mean, I'm going off topic.
Sorry,
now,
you were
but
going to
Talk
talk about
about-
your testimony.
Yeah.
the point I wanted to say was, especially like if in my case, for example, a couple of years back, wanting to be a manager, in between assistant manager, the next place to be is to become manager. Now already as an assistant manager, there's requirements. It's talking about dying on your desk, not taking sick leave, because to be honest, as a manager, that is what you're signing up for. Literally, you're told
This
you're
is
signing up
what
to
it
work
is.
extra hours without pay, overtime without pay, basically.
Yeah.
That's a standard.
Yeah, it's a standard. It's in the policy
Right.
where certain level
Yes.
you don't get overtime pay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look, I appreciate corporate for all that it's worth, because they look after you, like they pay you on time, and you're talking about
Yeah, they
Oh,
do.
freelancers,
in
problems.
do they really look after
organizations
you? They
like
look after
the
you.
ones that
You
he's
eat well.
in,
They don't look after you.
No way
not
they
these
do.
In
SMEs.
your organization.
Not the way they looked after our parents, bruh.
Okay, but now we're talking a different era. So
Yes.
sorry,
No,
I'm just
but
relating
I'm just
to.
saying,
No, I hear what you're
but right,
saying.
that's the decline of the corporate space.
So-
the
Yeah.
toxicness is that they don't look after you in this day
But
and
he's
age.
saying there's some companies that actually do look after you
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
they do.
very
Yeah.
few, if not like
We need
one
to define
hand
what look after
count.
is. I agree that paying on time standard. That was something
Yeah, no,
that
they
even
pay
when
on
I was in
time.
corporate,
Yeah,
you
that
are
is the
not late on the
standard.
payroll. You're not a minute late on payroll.
They
That was just
they don't need clap hands
it was-
for that.
it
You
was
worked
like-
for that. That's owed to you.
it was
Yes.
it would have been a
It
criminal
needs to
offense.
Over and above that, then we can say
Okay.
But
So
people
also
can't
another
even
thing
go
to
to
just
the
to bring
dentist.
into the
Yes, we
into the
just-
equation is of course, when you're looking for a place to work, you have to consider the values that you're signing up for. Every place has values.
Yeah.
They put it on the website. We
Yeah.
stand for this. We stand for that.
And all over the building.
I was fortunate, yes, back then to be in a place where their values was people. One of the values of the three was the focus and focus on people. I digress a little bit. The point I wanted to make is the area or the space does become grey. How does one navigate that grey space? So now I'm a manager. I want to be a manager. I need to put in the extra hours. I'm in a place where it's not really toxic, because one of the values is, okay, we value our people because they are our biggest asset. We sell their time, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they pay the people on time, right? So as a manager, that is assistant manager who's trying to navigate, or rather trying to quantum leap, because that's what it felt like.
Yep.
It was a
Feels like
very
going from
big
one
jump.
dimension to another.
If there's any sarcasm, it would only be that. It would be the fact that the jump from assistant to manager was so huge. Okay, but anyway, my question to you is, how would you navigate that grey space, that grey area? Because I have to put in hours. I'm not going to be compensated for these hours. That's fine.
Yeah.
I have to take responsibility of the job. It has to be my baby. It
Yeah.
has to become my baby. So that's why
Yeah.
in those scenarios, I will
manager's
be
dying at
huffing
the
and
desk.
puffing behind my desk, but
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm
because
signing
that's
in,
what the job
'cause I
calls
can't
for.
take sick
That's
leave.
what you signed up for.
How would
Can
you
I-
suggest one navigates that, like, obviously from a godly perspective?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I answer?
dilemma.
Can I start there? So I think for me, I mean, there was something that my lawyer once said to me. My lawyer. I just got a lawyer. No, it's just this lawyer. She's amazing. What she once said to me is, in life, ne, you've gotta, what do you want? What outcome do you want out of the situation? Like, even when I was taking guys to CCMA, what do you want? What is your final thing?
Olivia's Pope's lines. Olivia's Pope.
What
do you want?
Okay. No, but like, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you want for your life? So you have to sit and, for your life, what do you want? Because I recently saw a Nedbank commercial. I was going to say Ned. Did you hear me?
Yeah, ish.
It was a clutch there. I once saw a Nedbank commercial, and in the Nedbank, I recently saw one. And in the commercial, it was about this father. He's old now. They did it so cleverly, guys. I hope you can put the link.
I saw it on TV the other day.
Yeah. It was so
It was
clever
really good
because
ad.
it was amazing. And he was now old, looking at his younger self, that he wasn't there for his wife giving birth. He wasn't there because he was working to provide this life for them.
He wasn't there for all the moments.
He missed every single moment, you know. And he said he in the commercial, it says he would have done things differently. That's him, you know. And there's some people. So if you want to be a manager, you know what the requirements of a manager are.
Yeah, because
I
watched,
you want?
when I watched
Yeah.
that ad, I was like, I see the dilemma this man is in. It's like, you would have done things differently, but what, my guy? Because then that position wouldn't have been yours then. You wouldn't have been able to fulfill this position to its entirety. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think that's what he means. He actually would have gotten another position.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
what deep down he needed. So it's a question that only the person in the position can answer, because you know this is the requirement. Like Alisa mentioned earlier, that the world that we're living in has a system that's quite demonic. So other people call it the Babylon system, and the way the Babylon system runs with another set of rules that the kingdom of God doesn't run with.
Yeah.
So back
no
in the
grace.
days, there was, some countries are still fighting the Babylon system. Some countries go home for lunch, 2-hour lunch, and then they come back. Some people
eat lunch, they take a nap, bruh, then they go back to work.
Yes,
Like,
some
come
people
on.
are testing the four weekday,
Yes,
the 4
the
days
4
a
day.
week.
4-day work week.
Yeah.
4-day work week, and to see how productive that is. But the very system is people are consumers. People want to make money,
Unfortunately.
and to make money, they want
they want to live luxuriously.
Yes,
People
and they want big
to go on
revenue.
holidays. They want to do stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And for that, takes quite a bit of work, and team managers and management and different sectors happening all at the same time that bleed your very life.
Yeah.
And what I mean is bleed your very life, because when you're giving there, you must know, if I give here, I'm taking away from there.
Yes.
Because
There's
life
always a cost.
there's always a cost, and
Yeah.
you have to evaluate what is the cost here. You know,
Yeah.
what is the cost of, and now
Can
the
I
world
touch
is even
on
getting
that?
economies
You
and
talk
stuff.
a lot, yes,
Sorry,
Brenda.
Babylon. This Babylon system, it runs on money and economy. It's so cleverly built for us to be stuck at work and working, trying to make money. Because now, who can say here that they don't want a job? Because we need jobs, like you were saying, executive producer, I think. But
Yeah.
like you were saying, we need jobs. So to go without a job, what does that mean for our children? And and the kingdom of God, my godly advice, the kingdom of God, right, has its own governance, and it's got its own rules, and it's got its own authority, and it's got its own way of doing things. So if you're looking at, if this I don't know if you can see this table, you probably can't, there's a table in front of us, but if the table was a world, ne? And then I blew up a little balloon, right, this size, and that's someone that's believing in Jesus, and now they've got kingdom rules and how to conduct business the kingdom way.
Yeah.
And you put them on the table, that's one less space in this world occupied by demonic principles.
Yeah.
And they bringing kingdom principles into their business, and they still flourishing with their
Yeah.
businesses and treating people the way people should be treated, and still making money in this, and providing finances for families and
Yeah.
school fees and stuff. So yeah, sorry.
God's way is definitely. I agree with you. I think if people did apply more kingdom principles,
And the more
but then
balloons,
first of
people,
all,
yeah.
we needed to know what are the kingdom principles, because I think we've been so brainwashed, indoctrinated by this system that most of us don't know what actually the kingdom principles are of running a business. Actually, how am I supposed to do this God's way? Do you know what I'm saying? But just to go touch on a few things that
That's a good point,
you
yeah.
were saying. In terms of my own experience, and going back to what Randon was saying, I remember this experience when our bank started to shift into this more corporate environment. Like, I used to have my own office. I had my own office, guys. That's unheard of. So we started to shift. They renovated the space. They brought in the new senior managers from these bigger banks. And I remember just one day just looking at my manager. She was also new, but a stunning lady. She loved me. She thought, oh, I'm going to promote you. I'm going to get you there. And then I just remember watching her. She came to work dying at her desk. She would move and shake, and I'm like, it hit me. This is my path. This is the path that has been paved out for me, and I don't want it. I am not interested in this. So going back to what you were saying about the Nedbank bank ad, and what Brandon was saying is that gray area. It literally becomes, what is the cost here? What do I actually want? What was always in my heart was, I want to be around my children. I want to see my children grow up. That was priority for me. I just want to be with my children. And I had to make that choice. When I started to see things go left, and I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And God gave me that release. I was like, this is it. This is the end of the road.
But Mo, the thing is, this world, ne? The way it's built.
Tissue. Yes.
Before
something happens on
for
this
someone
camera.
to make a decision like that, ne? The world does not support that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't
really
support
doesn't.
that, because at the end of the day, there's school fees waiting for you.
Yeah.
There's people phoning up, and then even a bond for a house. It's unnecessary for people for banks and places to charge the fees and the interest that they do. They don't have to do it.
They really don't.
They don't.
It's actually unbiblical to charge interest, by the way.
These private companies don't
not a
have to
Christian
do
thing.
that, but they do that to make money for somebody. And with doing that, you're killing us.
Yeah.
You're killing us, and you're keeping us in these corporate jobs, and you're
And
keeping
not
us
everyone
away.
is suited for that. Like, you want to
Yes.
hire people that are not suited for this job. Like, let us do the
Yes.
other things that we're meant to be doing.
here's the thing.
And thrive and flourish and
Here's the
have the
thing.
finances that come with it.
You're keeping us away from our families.
Yeah.
You're keeping us from raising our families in a correct way. We're getting home stressed,
Ish.
and we are putting stress on children.
Oof.
And
Those-
then
ish,
you
guys.
want to, and then these banks and all these places that are creating this want to blame black people for crime.
Ish. That's the
It's
other
like,
thing.
no,
It's
we
such a
can't raise
vicious
people in
cycle.
our homes because we're not there in our homes. Because
Nobody's
we're trying
there to
feed
raise
them.
the children. That's why we've
We're
got
trying to
many
feed
more
them. And we're trying to
narcissistic
pay back all
personality
these
disorders
bills.
now, because parents are not there to raise their children. Children need
Because of
attention.
the
They need to be
system.
affirmed. They need to know that my father sees me, my mother sees me, I'm loved,
Yes.
I'm affirmed. And if they don't have that, we're literally raising narcissists.
And-
it's going to get worse for
And
our
if I-
children
yeah,
under these
absolutely.
people.
Absolutely. And if I have to charge the government with anything, the government needs to change this way of work so we can raise our children and raise the generations to come that will run this country.
Yeah.
At this moment, we cannot do that, and our country is going to become worse. Crime is also going to be at a higher rate because we can't teach. You know, I was also watching some Glen Vista teacher was punching a student, or they were in a fist fight with each other. And there's more of these happenings in the different places.
Never heard of when
And-
we were growing up.
and
Never.
the thing is about, like, parents don't. Why is your child throwing a fist in the first place to the teacher? Yes, the teacher was wrong, punch back, but because you guys are not teaching your kids.
Yeah.
You're not teaching your
There to
kids,
teach
and
your
you expect
children.
your teachers. The teacher was stressed. Now he's like, I'm punching you back
Yeah.
today.
Ish,
I am
yeah.
punching you back. So, tell me, who must raise the next South Africa when we are paying all these bills?
Yeah.
Who must raise when we are paying interest? Private companies should not be allowed. Government, please, to put large interest amounts. It's just they shouldn't be making so much from us while they are killing their country.
Unfortunately,
while they are
you're
prospering.
going after people that are in very powerful positions who their wealth is built on all of these things. It's built on all these interests that they put on people. It's built on people's hard work. And for them to let that go, for them to say, okay, let's be fair, let's take care of everyone, they're not going to do it. And I think that's why I called it a whole demonic system, because it really boils down to power, because that's what money is equated to, power, right? The more money I have, the more powerful. You know how you feel when you've got money in your bank account. You feel a little bit more lighter on your feet. You can do things. You're like, yeah. I can conquer the world. You literally,
and then
you get your
stressed.
salary on the
Freedom,
25th.
yes.
You're like, I can run this world. 2 days later, you're like, what am I going to do? You're in such a stress. You go into this, I can't even describe it psychologically. The psychologists will know what it is, where you feel like your life is over now because the salary is blown, all the bills had to be paid, and you have so much debt.
And here's the thing about
And
the
the-
banks as well. I'm on the bank's case. Ne?
Yeah.
Let's say your debit order bounces. They're going to charge you because it bounced.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It bounced because I didn't have money.
You didn't pay your monthly installment. They're gonna charge you for not paying. But
I don't have money. That's why
means I don't have money.
I don't have cash right now. That's why it's doing that.
Those debit.
I've never-
And I thought to myself,
charges are rough.
They are.
I thought to myself,
Because
this
they
is
try
crazy.
and
Why
do
are
it-
they allowed?
One thing will try
to
and
do
do it
this?
every single day.
Government.
They'll try and it will bounce every day. Like, stop trying to take.
Every
There's
single
nothing.
day it keeps bouncing.
And it keeps bouncing and it's a charge every time. I need
I'm
you
like-
to stop. Just stop.
Guys, it's actually
Because
very
now I'm
rough.
paying an extra $50 because you keep bouncing.
And it's like, why?
Every single day.
But I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the intricacies of it all, why all these things are there. I know that something can be done about it if people wanted to. If we wanted to get together as a country and say, okay, guys, let's fix things. Let's help the debt situation. Let's help the income situation. Like, food prices have gone up. We've got, I mean, inflation just hit us all after COVID, right? It was just
I don't
insane.
even know
And
if
then
that's
salaries.
inflation. That was
Actually,
demonic
Putin,
inflation.
they're blaming Putin because he started the war, so therefore everything goes up. So it's just so many factors that caused things to go up. And then you look at people's salaries, like, so you're not gonna increase salaries. So if we're not gonna increase salaries, what are we gonna do? At least other countries, people were sending checks to their people. I think of some of the COVID checks that people were getting in the US. I don't know much about that, but I know people were getting checks. They were getting breaks on paying rent. I don't know if we had that here in SA.
I think we
there
did have something. We did have something. I think we had a grace
What,
period. Was
250
it 1 month or
No, I'm
something?
kidding.
What was it?
Okay, let me just start off by saying I think that verse you're referring to is Psalm 15 verse 5 about the interest, not charging your brother
Yes.
interest, you know. And then of course is Deuteronomy 23
And Deuteronomy, I know it's
but
in
that
Deuteronomy.
speaks specifically about an Israelite not charging another Israelite. But
Yes.
then obviously there's that
Yeah.
that needs to be explained a little bit more, because someone can turn around and say, oh well, I'm not an Israelite, so I must be
no, but
subject
those
to
are
this.
God's kingdom principles.
The kingdom
No, I
principles that
hear
we're
you, I
talking
hear-
that will cover ground, more balloons to cover space.
Yeah, that's
No,
a
I hear
kingdom
you,
principle
yes.
that can be applied. Like,
100%.
it can-
100%.
yeah.
Those are the principles we bring into the workplace. But yes, to answer your question, Yule, I think we got, for a couple of months, not just 1 month, we got
Oh, okay.
a certain percentage
know that. I
shaved
wasn't
off
here.
our mortgage, right?
But
I
there was
wasn't
also
here.
So
I
it
was
wasn't
traveling the
a
world.
full mortgage thingy.
During COVID.
You stop or break. No, we're paying a bit less than we would normally have for a couple of months. But then it went back to normal.
And as a
much
freelancer,
less?
like I wasn't working during that time, and there's no protection for a freelancer.
Oh,
You don't. There's nothing to go back on. The debit orders are still knocking at your door.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't
Sure.
have work this
The
month.
life of a
Please stop
freelancer,
knocking
guys.
at my door. Like,
If your
ma'am, what do you mean you don't have a
freelancer
work?
friends, hug them.
I'm
Just
like,
check if they're okay.
Just
I'm
check
a
on your freelancer
freelancer.
friends, guys.
And then also when you're asking to get paid as a freelancer,
People suddenly don't want to pay you. It was nice when they got you on board. When they said,
But-
Yule, we need your skills.
no, but the
We
best
need-
for me is when they have deadlines.
Yeah,
from
of
Norway,
course.
and then you have to work all nighters, bruh.
Now it's time to
do
pay.
something by the weekend, and now
Dodging and ducking and
now
diving.
it's like, and then it's just like, okay, cool. I'm the person whose debit orders are always going to bounce. That's how I know about the minus that they keep taking,
Yeah,
because
the minus
that's me.
850.
Everybody,
I know it.
I'm the person
I
whose
know
debit
it.
orders be
It's also-
bouncing
yeah.
because I'm
Guys,
a freelancer.
you know what I thought of
Yeah.
recently on your
And-
same point?
Yes.
Of how the freelancers are. I don't know if we can classify these people as freelancers. But remember when we did the album, and then we had to perform that first performance that we had, the big show at the
Yes.
church, and the guys, the band, what did they do?
Yo, they were like, we're not performing.
They were not getting on that stage
Until
until
they-
someone paid them money. And funny enough, I thought about that today.
Good
I was
on them.
like, good on them. I was
Good
like,
on
good
them.
on them. They did the
Yeah.
right thing, because I'm sure they'd been burned by pastor after pastors burning people and not paying them. Saying,
They
no,
don't.
just perform. My guy, you're here already. Those guys didn't get on the stage. And I remember being there that day, not even frustrated with them. I felt very calm, because I couldn't process it immediately, but I felt the calmness in me, and I'm like, I was calm because I knew which they actually had every right to ask for their money, because you said, this is what you're gonna pay me, give me my money.
And that's what freelancers have
That's
started
what,
doing.
That's what you
They've
have to
started-
do. You have to fight for your life out there.
They've started going
You're
like
not gonna go to
50%.
Pick and Pay and say, I'm gonna take these few groceries, I'm coming back.
You won't eat.
you're
Your
not
family
gonna
doesn't
eat,
eat.
babes.
Freelancers have started going, I want 50% before and 50% the day I complete the job. Do you think people honor that? They don't
They
honor
don't.
that.
Don't honor
And
that.
also, I was at an audition yesterday actually, and I met a very beautiful actress. She's known in the industry, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm
Is
like,
she the one with the badge?
yes. She was
Covering
like,
her.
yes. She was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, she's like, I can't, like, working as a freelancer is difficult because there's times where you've got nothing, and I'm like, I feel your pain. I know what you're talking about. And also, I was also having this conversation with my producer for some of my songs. He said as well, he's just like, no guys, I can't. This freelancing life, one day you've got clients, the next day you've got nothing. Like, how do you do your books? And nobody understands.
and
Medical aid
famine,
doesn't
bruh.
understand that.
Like
It's so
like
true.
it's
The
such
feast and
a
famine. I've experienced that.
but like it's such a gap in the industry in like everywhere. Like, is there no business model? Like, is there no medical aid that can
support
take us?
freelancers, bruh.
Exactly.
Are you
Like, why
serious?
are people not bringing up
Like,
solutions for
Because
freelancers?
there's a
Because
lot
it's
of
needed.
freelancers out
There's a
there.
lot of freelancers.
But also, I was
like,
looking at stats the other day. I think I was trying to research for our last episode, and I saw that majority of South Africans are not freelancers. It's actually a very small percentage. I was actually shocked to see the amount, and I think South Africa is a very academic society, a very corporate society. I think
Yeah.
people really believe in the institutions, the organizations,
Education
the
and
education
corporate,
system,
yeah.
and then you have someone like me. I'll speak for myself. I call BS on the entire education system. I call BS on the whole thing. I'm like, why does it have to be one way for each and every single person? I don't believe in that system.
Wait.
Yeah, I know it's a whole.
Let's get to that.
Let's
one.
put a pin in
no,
it.
No, let's actually get to that one on a serious note.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just to bring it back to freelancers. It's also not having a covering.
Yeah.
I think you get disrespected a lot and misunderstood a lot.
Yeah.
When you want to ask for your money. or
because
you
you're
need
also
something,
wearing many
you're
hats
told,
as well.
Yes, then
When
you're told people
you're
don't
only
like your tone.
talented in the one hat, or your skill is in one or
now you
two
have
of the
to-
hats, but you have
Now
to wear
you've done
8
many
hats.
jobs and they want you to you are a freelancer
You
is
have to
always
be
the
your
one that has to
accountant
cut
now,
back.
and you always now you have to be your what's the
Yes,
person that
you have to
now
be
has to
everyone.
ask for money.
Yes,
Exactly.
Now you have to be that
The
person.
accountant, the debt collector,
debt collector.
the finance person, the what, yeah,
And-
HR, you know, the
and
whole
also as a freelancer, a creative freelancer, you're the first person they want to cut.
Of
Where
course.
they want to save budget. Everybody else will get honored and paid their dues.
Yeah.
You will work, you will produce immaculate work. You will put your soul and your heart in the work. You don't, when you sleep at night, bruh, as a creative, you're sleeping on the project.
Yeah.
Them ideas, as you turn,
Yeah.
you're like, that's what I'm going to do on that
Exactly.
shot. You turn that other
Exactly.
side, you're like, that shot's, this is what's happening on that shot. You dream about their stuff, bruh. You want them to get the best. You are so passionate. And working with clients is another story, but you're so passionate about that project.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you carry it like it's your own,
Yeah.
but from you is where everybody wants to chop and change and cut. And cut. It's like, I don't understand why. It's like, it's difficult for freelancers.
Yeah.
And the protection is just not there. And
It's
then
not there.
I know that,
And it
well,
needs
it
to be.
is there in that you can join a crew agency.
Yeah, I guess there are like organizations.
But then everyone wants to cut through no one wants to go through an agency because
you lose money. There's a cut for the agency now.
no, I'm saying the people that are head hunting you, they don't want to go through an agency.
Oh, but then how would they get people? Because aren't
They
those
want to get
agencies
people that they
supposed
know
to
that
be-
they know they don't like to deal. Why don't you like
it's
to deal with
networking,
agents? Because you don't
basically.
when it's time to pay. It's a story.
Yeah. Ish. Yo. So, yeah, what is the... Where are we at with this? What's the...
Okay, so if I may interject on that, and
Wait for the plane, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can go for it.
okay, for our viewers, what would you say are just a handful of kingdom principles
To kind of throw out there.
one could take to their places of work?
I think for me, first thing that I would like to say is discretion. Don't be, and this is a hard one because on the freelancer side, it's difficult, what I'm about to say. But also at the same time, if you have an established business, use discretion with every single client that you're working with. Because sometimes maybe the Spirit of the Lord is telling you,
Yeah,
give this
no,
one a
no,
discount,
definitely.
you know, cut this one a break. This one I want you to do it for free. I want you to actually bless this person. And I find that in South Africa, people don't have grace for looking at each case and saying, you know what, I can see that you are a single mother with whatever the situation might be. This is what it is. It's what it is. I don't care. If you please keep it moving, and also at the same time, I understand where that comes from, because people do need to get paid. You do need to feed your family. You do need to feed stuff. But if it's a kingdom principle we're talking about, and God is speaking to you, you know He's going to take care of you. You know He's going to bless you for being a blessing to this person that He sent to you to say, I want you to actually service this one for free because I'm going to bless you. Don't worry. Don't worry. If it's me, God telling you, I got you. So that's the first principle that's always been on my mind. Like when I think of one day when I'm able to do stuff for people, when I have my empire, I want to do that for people. I want to do all the things that I wish people could have done for me, and I do that very often with the work that I do, with my airy fairy work of dream interpretation. But I do that. There are people who I know you're never going to be able to give me a cent. I'm going to help you out with whatever it is that you need help with. So yeah, that's my first kingdom principle.
I think for me, the second kingdom principle I'd say is long suffering.
Yeah. And
long suffering is what I experienced as a kid, even in primary school and high school, and just coming out of college as well. Yeah. In working, when I used to work at a production company run by Sue Melville. She ran a good company. Yeah. And for me, she had long suffering. Long suffering is training a person. Long suffering is working through the not so nice bits of a person, but also recognizing the gifting they bring to a company. She pointed out the gifting, and then just every time, just tweak this or just fix this. Don't forget to do that. And I feel just in terms of, and when I speak about long suffering, I'm speaking about it through the lens of a freelancer. And I feel like companies these days don't want to suffer long with people. It's easy to go get out there to go get a freelancer because you don't have to pay for a freelancer's UIF. Yeah. You don't have to pay for a freelancer's retirement fund.
Portion of their medical aid, all of that.
There's so many things that you don't have to deal with a freelancer. And if a freelancer rubs you out the wrong way, I'm not using them anymore.
You're not contractually stuck. Yeah.
And it's bullying. If I may outright say that, it's bullying and it's ugly, because everything has to be your way, even if you're wrong. And a freelancer points that out. You could also just be like, not using them again, and they've lost a job. So now, as a freelancer, you're speaking about that guy from the office who saw a white man. As a freelancer, this is our position now.
Yeah.
You were forced to have this position. Please, sir. Some more, sir.
Ish.
Because people don't know how to suffer long anymore.
Yeah.
People want to go through drive-thrus to get fast food. So they can benefit. They don't want to deal with people's emotions. They don't want to deal with characters. They want to be on social media. They don't want to deal with the face. They don't want to deal with the realities of an imperfect human being.
Yeah. Anything that you can
Sure,
think
for me, I'd say also finding out if where you are is where you should be.
Yeah.
Like, is this actually what God wants me to do with my time, with my life?
Because your life is not yours, yes.
Yeah,
it's
our
actually
lives
his.
are not our own.
Yeah.
And it is something that we recently came across now, that verse to lose...
Yes, life.
To gain, to lose your life, you must gain.
You must lose your life. To gain your life, you must lose your life.
To gain your life, you must lose. If you try and gain your life, you're going to lose something like that.
But if you lose your life, you will gain it.
You will gain it, exactly. And I think a lot of us are losing so serious life because we're trying so hard to get it. We're trying so hard to gain it, even in these corporate spaces, trying so hard to become
something.
to be something, then you end up becoming someone you don't recognize. So you lose yourself because you're trying to.
You lose your life. Your life.
You're trying to
oh
lose
my gosh,
your
I
life.
just got a revelation
you're
from what
trying
you just
to
said.
also just
Oh, that was,
trying to kiss ass. So it's not happening.
Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake.
Yeah, and I
For
think
my
we're all
sake
trying
shall
so
find
hard.
it.
And it's something that is a big lesson for me right now in my own life as well.
Yeah.
Just trying so hard over the years, to try to take your life and make something of it, and it feels like it's going in the very opposite direction, and and it's like, but God, why? And sometimes it's just that of just being like, okay, what now? What are you actually saying? Because we're trying all, you try these things, you try this, you try
Striving
that.
is
Maybe
not
if
the
I
way,
do
hey?
that, maybe if I go here, maybe if I have this connection, let me try work them again. Let's do that, and all of that. And I have these skills, so let me try and use these skills. And this is what,
Yeah.
And not saying that those stuff on their own are bad.
Yeah.
It's just when it's outside of God's will for your life, it can be harder.
Yeah.
It will be harder, and chances are you'll lose
Yourself, exactly. On that point, just yesterday, I just got such a huge light bulb moment of just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Because I'm in a position right now where, what did you say, feast and what? Famine.
Feast and famine.
Feast and famine. Where there was a whole feast at some point and now it's famine, right?
Yeah.
So now panic sets in. Okay, what can I do? I can do this, all right? I can revive my Instagram and I can do this and I can do this with the music and I can sing it and this. Dude, I was racking my brain. I've been racking my brain for months. 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 Every month God is taking care of everything. There are no issues.
Yes. now
Everything
it's
is
like,
financially there. The food is there.
But then also, how is it that also that now that also will speak into your character? It's so bad. Hey, now suddenly you've been feasting for 8+ months.
Yeah.
Now that there's a famine month, you suddenly your value has now dropped in your own eyes, and you're like, how, Lord,
and
what have I
always
been
attack-
doing? I'm
always
so
attack
bad.
your
I'm not
it always
doing.
attacks your value as a person, straight to your value.
Makes you
to your
depressed.
value.
Straight up
Yes.
depression. Yeah.
You need to calm down. But
Yesterday the light bulb moment came. It just said, just stop. Stop. When you were feasting, were you striving like this? Not for a second was I striving the way I've been striving now when I was feasting.
When you were
because
feasting.
it just came. It
Yeah.
felt because I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Now on my mind is I need to make money. I need to make money. I need to make money. I need to get this. And it's like, stop. Just stop. And take a step back. That's all God said. Just stop. So
Yeah. And sorry, another kingdom principle, ne? There's a scripture where Jesus says, I call you my friends because you know what I've been busy with. I'm paraphrasing.
so I'm like busy with
because I've let you know about my plans.
Yeah.
I call you my friends.
Yes, I know that
I got
first.
triggered by you. So in that there's a trust.
Yes.
To run your business with a trust, to let people know the plans and not to segregate people. You see, when you watch these things like Surviving R. Kelly, he would have them in separate rooms in the same house, but they were never allowed to bump into each other. So it's this constant space of not knowing what's going on, not knowing what was said to that person. Isolation, which was the work environment that I was working with as a talent agent. So when you call to have the kingdom principle of this is our plan, guys, to take everybody with you, to understand where they stand. And when people don't know where they stand, they start questioning their value. And this is something I appreciate about your father-in-law. I mean, he's amazing. Because when he speaks about business principles that people can't see, and he mentioned a few things about unsafe environments and environments where, and everybody is just trying to make it, but he says this is what the data shows. The data shows that they're not succeeding. Why?
Yeah.
Because it comes back to things that kingdom principles can influence. It comes back to the little things that people disregard. It comes back to people feeling, even with story, like I do storytelling courses sometimes, even with storytelling. If the basic human beings, even if they're murderers or criminals, they want to be loved.
Yes, everybody. Yeah,
Everybody wants to be loved.
Sure.
And when people feel loved, you see that the hierarchy of needs.
Maslow.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? At the bottom is love and belonging, right?
The first one is food, though.
It's food, sorry,
The most
before
basic
food, yeah.
level.
Shelter.
Food and then
shelter,
and then
clothing.
and then love and belonging. So I'm talking about
just
the
find
emotional
this
one.
hierarchy.
So food, shelter.
Oh, okay,
If
okay.
you do die,
Yeah,
if you
those
don't
are
eat.
those are physiological.
You know what I mean?
needs.
Yeah. And then now at the top, you've got something like self-actualization. Self-actualization is where you can take the time to know who you are, to delve into your character. Listen, I'm not delving into any character if I'm hungry. If I don't feel loved and accepted, how am I going to self-actualize?
That's so true because
I can't even get to. I don't have the luxury. You see people out here.
You're in
Oh, I know
survival mode.
myself. I'm in survival
You're in
mode.
survival.
Yes.
You're at the bottom. You're at psychological and safety at this
Yes.
point.
There it is. So it's psychological needs. So it's food, water, sleep, clothing, reproduction, and safety, personal security, employment,
Your mic.
resources. So safety needs is your personal security, your employment, your resources. So at the bottom, is all those things before you
There's
can
a
even.
lot in this one.
And I love how rich people can go to. I'm going to this guru. I'm going to this. They've got time to self-actualize because nothing is threatened at the top.
Yeah.
Out here. At the bottom.
At the top.
At the top. And at the bottom. I mean, out here we are struggling to survive, man.
Yeah.
People, if you think of people in the township, you are asking them to self-actualize.
It's not on their radar.
Babes,
It
please can you
can't
feed
be.
them?
It can't be.
What are you asking?
Sure.
You're asking love and acceptance first. Okay, cool. They'll get to feeling love from you if they can just get clothed first, and then they can actually to feel the love. But even
Just a shelter that's not zenge or
Ish,
corrugated.
and with employment comes a sort of security, and you need to
Yes.
form an environment where it's secure.
Yeah.
If your environment is not secure because they're trying to fight for their life and fight for their jobs, if I make one mistake, it was never like that. And it's not okay that society has made it like that and everybody is running with it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to lose their job and no one is saying no.
But it's also too much
stop.
work to come together as people and say this is stop because there's power. Coming
together as people is self-actualization.
It
dog.
is.
We are
No,
still
you're
fighting
right.
for our lives.
But
when are we going to get to
But
the
then
point
it
of
can also be
organizing
survival mode because
Yeah.
it's like, guys, enough is enough. Like, when do we get together as a society and say no and put our foot down? Because the power is in the people. But now when I say that, I think of all the indoctrination. That's why the indoctrination that there is through media, so that people don't get unified.
Yeah,
and
and I
people
always-
are not on the
yes.
same page. Because if people are on the same page and they realize what's going on, it's over.
And that's why I always come back to Moses.
Yeah.
Moses could self-actualize.
True.
That's why he could.
Moses was a
That's why
character.
he could take up the journey to get these people out of Egypt.
Yeah.
They couldn't get
They were
themselves
not gonna get there
because they
themselves.
had a slave mentality, and then they had to go through the desert for how many years to get rid of that slave mentality
Yeah.
to learn to what? Trust in God.
And they still didn't.
Because when they got to, they were like, there's no water. Has God brought us out here to die? Is what they were saying. They still didn't trust because God brought us out here to die because we in people their mentality is not there. They're still saying, has God brought us out here to die? Now
Yes. They're not
here you
seeing that
come.
there's a promised land. Like literally,
Yes.
if you can just undo everything that
Yes.
you've been told, because that's what God was trying to do. You can't. If you come into your promised land like this, it's over for you there. You're still gonna
Yes.
think you're dying there,
Yes.
and you're not gonna be able to handle.
When someone is trying to survive, you telling them, no, we need to walk through the desert.
Yeah.
And it'll be, this is the game of politics. The one who's saying we need to walk through the desert, no one is following that politician. Everyone is following the politician that says, I'm going to what? Feed you now.
Yes, of
Because they
course.
can't self-actualize to see that in the promised land, there's milk and honey.
Exactly.
They can't see that. That's where we need to first beat the mind to see where our food is and where
Yes.
our provision is
Yep.
and where our resources is. They can't. So we are always going to be at the bottom fighting for food, shelter and clothing and work. Because unless somebody is going to come and God, please hear our prayers so we can all for South Africa.
Yeah.
So every single person can get to the promised land and everything can be run a different way.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually, but it's gonna be rough going for that change to happen in this country. I've had dreams about it.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sorry. Here's a spanner to help you
This is a
finish
2-hour
your work.
yeah. Yeah, because now this cough is
Right.
persistent.
You mentioned promised land, right? You mentioned milk and honey, right? who brought the milk and honey? Whose responsibility was, or did that lie, or rather did that fall on?
So are you talking about the when they were in the wilderness, the manna and everything, or the promised land, milk and honey? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I start?
Yeah, please.
So the promised land had already, there was already stuff that was prepped there from previous people that owned the land. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but it was also up to the people to work
and take it slowly.
But how they worked was not the way that they worked in
unity.
Egypt.
Correct.
How they would have worked was not the way that they would have worked in
Kingdom
Egypt.
principles.
Because
That's why
when they went into the promised land, I guess they started with Jericho. They did the 7 days, blah blah. Unity. They got in, and then there was the next battle where they lost.
Yes.
It was the one in AI because one person messed it up for the entire Israel, right?
The one person with the fornication.
He took some items, right? Some of them were idols, and he buried them, and they had to draw lots to like zone it down to what's happening. Joshua and Caleb, or I don't know if it was Caleb or Joshua, and they boiled it down to his family, and then they found that he was the one who had taken these these idols, these things that
trinkets.
were not, little trinkets and stuff. So therefore they started losing in their promised land because one person messed up the whole thing.
But this is special. It's a whole revelation.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose in the kingdom of God. Under godly principles, you lose if you steal and if you disobey God.
Disobedience.
Under godly principles, even though you think your company is flourishing,
if you use Satan's things, if you use Satan's ways in God's kingdom, it's not going to work.
You're losing. You know what I mean? And God had to teach them that this is not we're not starting like this.
This can't be the foundation.
This is not our foundation. This is not what we built with. We built on kingdom principles, and this is how we're going to get there. And I wanted to add one more thing. I'm not sure if it even fits in, but when they left Egypt, God told them to take the gold and everything and blah blah blah, because in Egypt, because in Egypt they were building. Many people don't know this, but in Egypt they were the ones that were building these pyramids and these statues to these idols.
Yes,
they were the ones, the Jews that were building these children of God that were building these things.
Yes,
and so now when they came out, they built God a temple. With all these things that were brought, you're not building for kingdom. You're building for the one true God.
Yes.
With all those things, you're building for God.
Building for the one true God, so that He may dwell amongst us. That's all God has wanted.
Yes. So we need to see that even in our businesses, who are we building for? We build for God. So now, but what is the takeaway for us now? Because I may not be going to a godly boss tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to find myself next week, who I'm going to be freelancing for. So it's, what do I do on a daily basis to bring the kingdom, even if I'm getting opposition?
Sure, that's a good question. I ask myself that question all the time.
Well, we can leave it, let's leave it at that.
Answer. Yeah. I have the same question. Yeah. So I guess we'll leave it at that. It's been a very interesting conversation. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please remember to follow us on Instagram at TACOMS_podcast. And then there's a coconut on my stoop on Spotify and Facebook.
And guys, please comment. I know even if you disagree with something, really please comment, or if you want us to speak about certain topics in the episode, or if you want to give your point of view on something.
We'd love to hear from you. Please make the comments.
No filters.
Your comments help the videos go up in the algorithm, guys. So please engage with us. We really want to,
even if it's a small comment,
reach more people.
Or if you say I don't agree with that, thank you. No taken.
No taken. We are open to any kind of comment. Obviously, be kind, don't be mean, but we are not here expecting everybody to agree with everything that we say.
You've got your views as well. Bring them through.
And
if also you want to be on the show, we open to you. Coming on.
Yes, we'd love that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
She gave me a side look.
Right.
Yes, we love that. Sing.
No, for real. I really meant that. I like people. I love people. I'm a people person. Okay, bye everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.